So now let us consider designing a 2-input OR gate using perceptron training rule. So when this is given to you, you can write the truth table of the OR gate. In case of the OR gate, the output will be 0 when both the inputs are 0. Otherwise, the output will be 1. And in this, first of all, you need to identify how many input parameters are there, how many weights are required in this. So we have only 2 input parameters, x1 and x2. Therefore, we will have 2 weight values, w1 and then w2. So these are related to the input variables. And also you will have one more weight value that is related to the bias. So we have w0. Okay, so this is a weight related to the bias. And when you apply your algorithm, in addition to these weights, you will have the learning rate as well as the threshold. So here the learning rate eta is 0.2 and threshold is 0. In the problem, generally W1, W2 and W0 will not be given. If you are supposed to design by applying the perceptron training rule, they will not be given. But you will get the learning rate and then theta value. If they are not given, you can assume anything. Okay, so now I am giving you learning rate and then theta. This part I will not give. So now let us see how to proceed. And one more thing is they will also give you what is the activation function you are going to apply in the perceptron. So here I am assuming an activation function like this. If the sum of the input value yn is greater than the threshold theta, output will be 1. That is, the activation function is nothing but the neuron is now fired. Otherwise, if it is less than or equal to theta, output will be 0. Okay, so but here I have assumed that theta is equal to 0. So I will write the activation function as, if my summation yn is greater than 0, it will be 1. Otherwise, it will be 0. Now, let us see how to proceed with this. First, I am going to initialize the weights randomly. So I am initializing weights like this. W1 is initialized as 0.5, W2 as 0.5, and W0 I am initializing as -1. It's up to you. You can initialize any value. But remember that you are not you are initializing from 0 to -1 to +1. Okay. So here, these are all the values I have initialized. First, I am going to consider the first epoch. In case of the first epoch, I am going to consider all the training examples one by one. When there is a match in the expected output and the output from the perceptron, I will not update the weight. I'll go to the next sample. So first, I'm going to consider the training example 1. So the training example 1 is x1 is 0, x2 is 0, t is 0. Now let me apply first the first equation. I'm going to calculate yn. Yn is nothing but here there is a small mistake, guys. It is not minus w0, it is plus w0. The same one I copied in all the slides. So please change it in the slides. When I forward to you, I'll change it. So we are going to compute yn as x1 plus x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus w0. Here I am calculating yn. This is yn only. So it's nothing but x1, w1 I am applying. x1 is 0, w1 is 0.5 plus x2, w2. x2 is 0, w2 is 0.5 plus the weight w0. Here it is -1. So I am getting the output as -1. So this is nothing but output yn. Okay, next what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this to the activation function. Here it is less than 0, less than or equal to 0. So when it is less than or equal to 0, I'll be getting the output from the activation function as 0. So this is my output now. So since this is the output from the activation function, this is O now. O is nothing but 0. So next what you have to do, you have to compare this O with the t value. T is 0, O is also 0. That means that they are same. So no need for any weight updation. So with respect to the training example, it's perfectly satisfying the weight. So we are not going to update anything. So what is our next step? Move to the next training example and check whether it is fine for that also. So now I am considering the next training example TE2. Again, it is same epoch only because epoch 1 will be over once I finish all the 4 training examples. Now still I am with the first epoch only. So TE2 is the training example 2. Here x1 is 0 and x2 is 1. Then I am calculating yn by applying this formula. So yn now x1, that is 0 multiplied by 0.5, then x2 w2, 1 multiplied by 0.5, then the weight value w0. So w0 is now -1, so plus -1, so you will be getting this value -0.5. So in this also it is less than 0 value. When it is less than 0, you will be getting the activation function output as 0. But now you can check here from the perceptron, we are getting the value as 0, but according to the truth table, we want the value as 1. So now what's happening is there is a misclassification. So whenever there is a misclassification, we need to update the weights. So which are all the weights we are going to update? We have 3 different weights now. We need to update all the 3 values. So now how to update the weights? W1, I am going to update by means of W1 plus eta into T minus O into X1. So here, what is W1? The previous weight value. It's nothing but 0.5 plus eta is nothing but learning rate of the algorithm, 0.2. Then T is nothing but what is the original value, expected value. That's nothing but 1 in this case. And O is what is the output you have produced in your perceptron model. It is 0 multiplied by X1. X1 is here 0 because it is second example. Now we are getting the new weight as 0.5. So the old weight is 0.5, new weight is also 0.5. That means that particular weight is not changed. Now let us see what is going to happen to the second weight, W2. W2 is nothing but apply in this formula. Here you are going to consider W2 and instead of the example X1, you are going to consider the example X2. Now same thing I am going to apply. I am getting the weight as 0.7. Now if you consider previously W2 is 0.5, now it is changed to 0.7. Now this is related to the weights associated with the input. What about this W0? W0 is the weight related to the bias. So the formula for W0 is slightly different. It's nothing but W0 plus eta into T minus 0. Here you can note down there is no input term appearing because this is the weight related to the bias. Okay, don't write the input term. Simply apply this formula. So you will get the new bias as minus 0.8. So now after the epoch 1, now I can stop the epoch 1. No need to continue with the remaining 2 training examples because after the second training example, you learn new weight. You have to update the weight. So I can stop the epoch 1 now. I'm going to epoch 2 now. So now I'm starting with epoch 2. When you start with epoch 2, since you have updated the weight, you have to take the new weights now and start from the first training example again. So I'm going to take the new weights. This is a weight now. W1 I have updated, but it is still 0.5 only. W2 is 0.7 and W0 is minus 0.8. Now I'm going to continue with these updated weights. Take the epoch number 2. Take the first training example again. Apply the new weights now. Same formula. When you apply the new weights, I'm computing the final output as minus 0.8. Now I have to send it to the activation function. Since this is less than or equal to 0, I am getting the output of the activation function as 0. Okay, therefore, there is no need for any weight updation because this 0 is same as the expected value. So I'm not going to update any weight with respect to the training example 1. Now let me consider the training example 2. If in the training example 2, again, I am going to apply the new weights. But even after applying the new weights, you can see here, the input value is minus 0.1. When it is minus 0.1, it is less than 0. Therefore, you will be getting the output as 0 only. But expected output is 1. You are getting the output as 0. So what you have to do is, again, you have to update the weights. So I'm going to apply the updation formula for W1, W2, W0. Then I'm going to update the weights. Okay. So in this, for W1, you have to consider this W1 only. Don't take the initial W1. So apply W1, W2, and W0 from this particular weight formula and calculate the new values of all the 3 weights. Now, since I have updated the weight now, I'm not going to consider with the training example 3 and 4. I have to again start the next epoch. So now I'm going to start epoch 3. So in epoch 3, I have updated W1 and W2, then W0 like this. I'm going to consider the epoch 3. So in epoch 3, let me compute TE1. For TE1, when I substitute these values in this formula, I'm getting the final value as minus 0.6. Since it is less than 0, the output of the perceptron will be 0 now, and it is same as the expected output. Therefore, no need for any weight updation. Now, let me consider the second training example. I'm taking the second training example from here. When I update these weights, the output is 0.3. 0.3 means it is greater than 0. When it is greater than 0, as per our formula, the output is nothing but 1. Now, if you consider the expected output is 1, your actual output produced by the perceptron is also 1. Therefore, no need for any weight updation. So now, 2 training examples are satisfying the new weights. Now, let us go to the third training example. I'm taking now TE3. TE3 is nothing but 1, 0. Apply TE3 in this formula. Okay, so you are getting now the value as minus 0.1. Since this is less than 0, the activation function output is 0. But what is the output expected for this one? Therefore, there is no match. When there is no match, you have to update the weight. So let me update all the 3 weights, W1, W2, and W0. They are updated by applying this formula. And in this, I have to consider the new weight. Since I have updated the weight, don't consider the training example TE4. Go to the next epoch now. So now I am starting the epoch 4. In epoch 4, I have to now apply the new learned weights to training example 1, training example 2, and so on until there is a match. I have to continue. When there is no match, I have to stop. So now you see here for training example TE1, I'm applying the new weights and the value is minus 0.4. Since it is less than 0, the output of the perceptron is 0 and the actual expected output is also 0. Therefore, there is a match. So no need for any weight updation. Then let me take this training example TE2. For TE2, you consider 0 and 1, apply in this formula. I'm getting yn as 0.5. Then send it to the activation function. Since it is greater than 0, you will be getting the output as 1. So expected is also 1. There is a match. So no need for any weight updation. Now go to the training example TE3. Take 1, 0. Apply this weight. I am getting the output as 0.3. Since it is greater than the threshold is 0. Since it is greater than the threshold, there is output from the activation function as 1. And it is same as the expected output. Therefore, no need for any weight updation. Now let me consider the training example TE4. So TE4 is having the value as 1 and 1. Okay, so apply 1 and 1 for x1 and x2 in this formula. And you are getting the output as 1.2. Since it is greater than 0, the output from the perceptron will be 1. And this is same as the expected value 1. Therefore, no need for any weight updation. Now, if you consider after the 4th epoch, whatever weight you have learned so far is satisfying all the 4 training examples. Therefore, your algorithm has reached the final condition. You have reached the end of the algorithm because you have converged. Now, no need to continue further. At this point, you can stop your algorithm. So, after the 4th epoch, whatever weights we have learned, they are the final weights. So, W1 is 0.7, W2 is 0.9, and W0 is minus 0.4. So, these are all the weights. So, our question is, we have to design the 2-input OR gate using perceptron training rule. You have to now draw the design. So, in the design, since we have 2-input gate, we are writing x1 and x2. So, for x1, you are associating the weight W1. From the previous slide, we have learned that W1 is 0.7. And for x2, associate the weight W2, that is 0.9. And for the bias, we are writing the weight as minus 0.4. Okay, so this is the design of the 2-input OR gate using single perceptron.